The FBI is compromising our election compromises, Justice Department is compromised. There are questions about the actual poll itself. Answer the question, what's going on in there? We have a corrupt government. Understand that the political system in this country is largely corrupt. Why is that? You're not the answer.
We are witnessing a total political system failure in America. We are witnessing a total political system failure.
Sure, right. Never let the angry go. Violence in America has become the language of a broken society. Against the politics of hate and fear, violence will not stop until justice begins.
What's going on? How's everybody doing? You know what? It's Friday. You know what that really means. If you're watching this, do me a favor. Check out Lowbrow Saints Tattoo Collective, 3456 Minnehaha Avenue, Minneapolis, Minnesota. Contact for availability via www.instagram.com/Lowbrow Saints. Go check out Jason's tattoo shop. It's a really cool spot. Saturdays tomorrow is walk-in day. Go there, get some tattooed work done. They got so much flash. He's got even shit that he hasn't even put on the wall. Dude could switch his flash around every few months and still you could find stuff you haven't seen before. So go check those cats out. If you're looking to get some pointy guitars, the Shred Den, right down the damn hall from here, Monday through Friday, 5 p.m. to 8 p.m., Saturday, 11 a.m. to 5 p.m., 9100 85th Avenue, North, Suite 100, Brooklyn Park, Minnesota. Call 763-350-2191, www.theshredden.net, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, all that happy stuff. If you're looking for some design work, Narwhal Design Solutions, Justin Boney, doing all the deeds there. Facebook, Instagram, the World Wide Web, at Narwhal Design Solutions, Justin Boney at gmail.com. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate y'all. That first one was why. I'm not really sure why. We're going to find out, actually, with the cats from Infuriate. How's it going, fellas? What you up to? What's going down? How you doing?
Good. Yeah, doing good. Thanks for having us.
Good to have you,
awesome.
man.
It's good to be back.
It's been a while, dude. We were trying to figure that out. Now I'm a stoner, so I basically blanked I was thinking pre-COVID, but you're like, no, it was after COVID because it was the Skyway time. So my timeline's all off from the whole COVID shit. So, but that was, I mean, it's been a long 3 years. We looked it up. It's 2023, episode 277. Now you said that was you guys were releasing material right about that. You guys were getting ready to go on tour the last time that you jumped on the show, right?
Yeah, last time we were here, I believe we were heading out for our second time.
Yeah.
The West Coast. Yeah, we did that. More things like that since, but yeah, it's been that's what I was thinking. Been good 2-3 years.
Yeah.
I knew it had been.
Yeah.
Time flies.
You guys have been putting this new album together. How long you guys been working on this stuff here? Scourge of Humanity. What is it? The World Funeral. Nice.
Scourge of Humanity World Funeral is just everything we've been doing over the last year. All these songs, just like I came up with last time we were on our last tour we did, 2025 of the West Coast. We were out for 2.5-3 weeks. And I came up with a lot of these song ideas on that tour because I was really inspired by a lot of different bands that we were playing with and bands we were watching and hanging out with. And all the late night drive, do most of the driving, all the late night drives, Sergio would stay up with me and I would talk to him about the songs, the ideas, sound I have in my head. And he's like, yeah, man, sounds great. We get home and it was just started practicing everything and showing them the songs right away and trying to work on the arrangements and, make the song sound the best we could.
Yeah.
And then, the vocals would come in. But yeah, it was only for about a year just belting everything out, trying to get it playing them all really good.
Yeah. Now, are you now working on this stuff as you're touring too? So you're like coming up with ideas? Are you jamming any of that stuff, or
we don't get to jam a lot at all on tour other than the shows.
Right.
When we're not jamming, it's like we're sleeping or we're hanging out or we're visiting places, cool places to see.
Yeah.
Whatnot.
Yeah.
But it's just we got home right away, and it's the first practice. Just started to start working on the new songs, and it's came together over the last year relatively quickly. We've gotten pretty good at playing them. Right away, I got a hold of Adam. I'm like, let's record them and get it out of the way. It's winter time.
Yeah.
So that happened. It worked out really well.
Oh, yeah. At Signature Tone, or where
Signature Tone
nice.
Studios, with Adam Tucker. Adam's the best.
Did you guys get to do any of them cool-ass videos that he normally does? Did he take any...
No, he asked me about it beforehand. I was like, no, it's cheesy.
Dude.
I don't know. I kind of regret it now.
They
Would
do
have been
some
cool to have
great
because we don't
stuff,
have a lot
man.
All we have is like live video footage other people take. But, we didn't do that. But he worked us really hard. We were there for 10 hours. Worked us really hard. It was...
Dude, that seems so crazy to me that you're like, we were there for 10 hours where, like, back in the day, you think about some of those studios that people would work with. They'd be there for fucking months working on shit,
Yeah.
But, I mean, underground cats doing your thing. So you pounded out for 10 hours.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was awesome. That included, the vocals, laying down the vocals. I mean, when we did everything, pretty much everything 1 and 2 takes, but he made us do everything in 3 and 4 takes. Right? It's like, okay.
Just giving you options?
Well, he's like, we're going to play these and we're going to pick the best one and then you're going to play it better.
Nice.
Just pushing us to make, really getting it tight, all the little things.
Dude, I haven't heard.
Because we thought every time we play everything, it sounded great. And Adam was just like, do it again, do it again, do it again.
Right.
So it was cool. He didn't do that the first time around. First time around, we were down there and we just kind of like went in and out. He already knew what I wanted.
Yeah.
And we talked this time about what I wanted and he's like, okay. But decided to push us a little harder.
Yeah.
Well, it was fun. We had a blast. I mean, 10 hours is, I don't think that long. I've been in studios longer, obviously, in the past, but it went by fast. I kind of was like bummed out. Time to go home,
Right.
I could have handled an all-nighter.
Right.
It was fun. We had a lot of fun.
So now hashing those songs out. Now, did you do it in the studio or were you guys
live in the studio?
Really?
Yeah, we just like plugged it in. I wanted to be where I could stand really close to my amp so I get feedback right away when I want it. So he put me in a room with my full stack and an Engel full stack, and we just ran everything. And it was a big plexiglass window. I could see and hear Tom and Sergio. They were like right there. And we just played live like that and just, belted everything out. It was
nice.
Like good practices.
Nice.
It was fun.
Damn, right there, just like that. That's killer, man. That's really cool. You're able to do that. Tell me about that first song. What is Why about?
Oh, lyrically, it's just like, I guess all of our material, it's just I write all the lyrics except for there's one new song Tom wrote the lyrics. Just doomsday scenario stuff,
Yeah.
What's going on in our current times.
Yeah.
I guess just how I look at things and how I know Tom and Sergio look at things,
Sure.
because I talk to them about lyric ideas and stuff. I just sing about it, like our reflection on everything wrong with the world.
Yeah.
It's a lot of people think we're political, but not really. I have my political beliefs. We each do. We each individuals. We respect one another.
Yeah.
We coexist. But yeah, I was just thinking about current time stuff. So why is just the song's got it breaks down in two parts. So I was like, okay, the first part I'll talk about all the corruption in the world we live in.
Yeah.
And then the second part is about the corruption in the federal government and the world government. It's just a song, I guess, and it's just anti-greed, anti-war, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Anti, big corporations, big establishment. We're anti all that. Just singing about it, but certainly not really pushing forward a belief system.
Now you
'Cause
cats,
we respect everybody's.
you cats are
belief.
right around my age. I'm 53. You guys are right around that time frame. What do you guys think about I mean, did you focus on politics when you were younger, man? I mean, did you think about any of that shit when you were younger?
I did because of punk. I did because in 1986, I want to say I was 16, and that's when a friend of mine introduced me to a band called Conflict.
Yeah.
And their Ungovernable First record. And
Yeah.
that really opened my eyes to, all the things wrong that exist in our communities.
Yeah.
Like sexism is wrong, stuff like that. Anything against women, inequality is wrong. Animal rights, animals deserve rights, this and that. A lot of things to believe in. Positives you make out of all the corruption around you,
Yeah.
and we all know what that corruption is. So, yeah, it was just like punk. Bands like Conflict really made me aware of all that stuff, and that band particularly shaped the morals and values that I still have.
Right.
But to get those at 16, and then turn into a young man at 18 and 20, and go into my 20s, very positive.
Yeah, yeah.
In a fucked up world, but
Yeah.
certainly by no means, not a political person.
Right.
I don't vote. I don't give a shit.
Right.
Same shit, different pile. I
Right.
say with both parties. It's all like whatever. But if people choose to, that is fine. I don't judge anybody.
Right.
We don't care.
Yeah. Now I know you say you guys coexist. Are there things that you guys disagree on when it comes to?
Well, of course,
different
because
things?
we're humans.
Yeah, yeah,
We
yeah.
all respectfully can have disagreements.
Right.
And still live together and
Right.
get along. And
Right.
that's why the world's the way it is, because people can't. But people can. They just don't want to.
Yeah.
All you can do is surround yourself by the people that do.
Why do you
Guys like us.
why do you think that is, man? Why do you think?
It's human nature.
Yeah.
It's the way what rules everything, that rules money and wealth, and that controls everything in the world.
Yeah.
It affects every one of our lives.
Yeah.
No matter how much money we have.
Right.
Both
It's like
parties,
the class
both
judgment.
parties
It's
are
like
the
a
same.
judgment. Each level, or what what I mean, monetarily, when you get into classes and shit like that, it just seems like everybody seems to look down at each other. You know what I'm saying? It's built to divide, kind of type of shit.
Brings egos, and
Yeah.
brings people with vanity, a lot of vanity.
Right.
Yeah.
What do you think, man? Makes you stay grounded when it comes to shit like that? You know what I mean? Allows you, like, how are you able to break away from that type of shit? You know what I'm saying? As a young man.
I mean, for me personally, it's just it all comes down to in my heart what I believe in, what I really believe in, and I just believe in it. I don't like a lot of outside influences corrupt me or alter what I really feel and think, and I've always just tried to stick with that.
Right.
I think it's a lot of common things we all have as humans, but.
We're so plugged in with the cell phones nowadays and shit like that.
Yeah, people got to unplug from everything,
Yeah.
and really just, as far as all of that, I mean, we live obviously in a complete different world, but yeah, people need to start talking to each other again, communicating,
Yeah.
and it's hard. I appreciate people texting me more than the phone sometimes, because I have a hearing loss.
Yeah.
So, texting and the messages is nice, but generally people need to talk. But I mean, talking about the world in general and all the corruption, nobody cares about anything but money. Everybody's there to make money.
Right.
Rules everything. The things that come with that are all bad.
Right.
Corruption, it brings war.
Right.
All these other inequality between everybody. Stupid.
Stupid, ridiculous gas prices right now to be out on tour. Holy shit! I don't know how people can do it.
That worries me. We've talked about it. I talked to Tom about that. I was like, you really got to help me out because, my wife and I pay for everything.
Yeah.
And the record costs money too. That's coming.
Yeah.
So I said, Tom, I'm like, it's like, because we don't know what's going on with the government. It's like, we're at war. Oh, we're having a ceasefire. Probably gonna be at war again. Gas
other
prices
fucking
keep
5
going
minutes.
up no matter what. And I'm like, you gotta help me out and pay for gas because we always do pretty well when we go out on tour.
Yeah.
We always sell a lot of merch. We always have gotten paid very well, but that all goes into the gas tank, and it's fine. We're not doing it to make money, but it would be nice. Have like an extra $100, and we're like, we can go stop and go to Denny's on the way down the freeway.
For sure.
It'd be nice to be able to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, out in California.
Yeah, I don't know.
Gas would be like $6 or $7 or something.
Yeah, it's got to be ridiculous now, man.
Yeah, it makes me nervous,
here
but
in Minnesota,
we can't predict the future.
Yeah.
This tour was booked like a year and a half ago.
Now, how many dates do you have set up? I know I have one for sure. You sent me one for sure, and this is the PNW Harshfest 7.
I sent you that. That's one of the first flyers I've gotten so far of the tour, and that's our first show. That's Pacific Northwest Harshfest. It's a really big festival. A lot of grindcore, power violence bands play that. And over the last couple of years, he's been having more, Krust bands, DB bands play, kind of like mixing it all up.
Yeah.
He's a good friend of my wife's. We played with this band a few times, Burial Rights. And he asked us a year and a half, 2 years ago to play this. I was like very excited.
Yeah.
Like, that's great. We'll book a tour around it.
Nice.
See, I'm really excited about that one.
Oh, yeah.
We haven't gotten, I'm still waiting for flyers from people, promoters. I've gotten a few more, but, it's not till July. So it's going to be away from home for 4 weeks. I think it's 26, 27 shows. I'm going to get a few days off. I think we got 3 days off that are like kind of sporadically in there. But yeah, it's a good run.
DIY stuff, or you guys got lots of venues, or how are you guys running it?
It's kind of both. It's like 50% DIY, then 50% like the festival. It's bigger stuff.
Yeah.
Bigger bands. This happened the other day. I just got the confirmation when we have 3 shows in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
And when we play the city of Los Angeles down Santa Monica Boulevard, it's this really cool, I guess it's like a death metal venue. And they've been having all these bands play over the last few years. I've been following what's going on out there because my wife and I are from there.
Yeah.
I really like a lot of death metal. And it's just really cool. So I reached out to this promoter, and I found out this was like next level stuff. That's cool. We've dealt with a little bit of that. I reached out to them and signed the record. I'm like, hey, would you want to help me out with this date? I would love to play with some of these bands. The club is like considered a legendary club.
Yeah.
And he wrote me back right away, like the record I sent him. I sent him through email. He asked me all these questions about, we'll throw you on the show on the 23rd when you're here. And I'm like, that would be great.
Nice.
So I'm really excited about that. So there's like a couple other shows like that too. It's like
Very cool.
Little next level stuff, but it's just because new friends I've made and they're following other bands. And it's a lot of it's more like the death metal stuff, but I kind of feel like we could fit into that.
I believe that.
Because it's, a lot of the new Infuriate songs, heavily inspired by me listening to a lot of death metal and Swedish death metal.
Right. Now, your drummer was talking about playing a bit more death metal, liking a bit more death metal on the first podcast that we had, right?
Yeah.
He was saying that he had more of a death metal background than you guys did at that time or something, right?
For sure. Yeah, heavily. And
so is he pushing it on you?
It's worn off.
He's got a double bass pedal now.
Yeah?
Yeah.
The 3 of us love Deicide, and I love Deicide's new record. I could talk about that all night.
Yeah.
But I'm not saying, and we don't try to sound like those bands, but like fits in with that. So when this guy in LA was like, enthusiastic about throwing us on this Thursday show, I was very excited, very appreciative, very thankful because it's just, it's something we haven't done yet. And I'd kind of like to, because these bands we're playing with are really good.
Nice.
There's 4 other bands, and 2 of those bands are like next level. Like they're going to be getting signed by somebody soon.
Nice.
I've looked at their Instagram; they have all these crazy amount of followers.
Nice.
It's really cool. So it'd be
cool, man.
cool to watch them play live and just meet new people.
Yeah. Network, man. That's fantastic, man.
I'm
so
excited.
I mean, with these tours you guys have been going on, obviously you're connecting with all kinds of different folks, man. That's killer. That's really cool. Now, I wanted to ask you because you mentioned the merch and doing well in the merch. What are some mainstays for you guys when it comes to merch? What are definitely at the Infuriate table?
Oh, my wife does all the merch. Everything's DIY, screen printed, and on her press in the basement of our home. I try to help her with the drying part and rolling the shirts up and taping them. But yeah, she's in charge of all that. She does all that.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
I can't even tell you how many people have come into the podcast in the last year that are like, yeah, man, we record everything in house, we do everything, and then they bring it to other places. But it seems like more and more people are doing everything in house. They're getting their screen printing done in house. You know what I mean? They're making the effort to figure this shit out and do it. I know punk bands have done that for fucking ever. You know what I mean? Like they were the ones before the death metal kids and the thrash kids. I honestly believe that. Like punk cats were always making cool shit, always doing cool merch.
That's definitely one of the many things I appreciate about my marriage. My wife is just like I am. She's been a promoter for over 20 years. That's how I met her many years ago in LA, and she helps me out. She does everything for the band, but she makes the merch, and she's like really good at it. Wants to do it. She's excited about it.
Yeah.
She books all of our shows. She's the one that booked our tours. She knows everybody. She knows so many people internationally. So it's cool. Yeah, it helps because I want to keep everything DIY. I want us to be able to do like everything. Even with the record, when we get the record back, I chose to have the records unsealed because I told my wife, I'm like, I want to put stuff inside the record for people that buy the record, like stickers and patches, a poster or whatever. Just lots of cool stuff. And it's cool, and we could do all that ourselves.
Yeah, absolutely, man. That's the way to do it.
It's fun.
Yeah,
a lot of fun.
Yeah, you're interacting with everything, man. You know what I mean? I was talking about that as well. Promo packs and how it used to be so much different back in the day. You know what I mean? I don't know if you guys ever sent your records out with stickers and all that other shit. Like I was talking about doing VHS. You know what I mean? Like I remember handing Kerry King from Slayer a VHS cassette, and he looked at it and he was like, "Man, I haven't got a VHS since I don't," and he threw it in the bus like. That shit's going right in the trash can, you know what I mean? He ain't ever watching that shit, But it's cool. It's cool to have all that stuff, man. And
I like it. I mean, it's old school and it costs extra money, but to me, it's like so what? I'm 58 years old. I know I'm not gonna be able to do this.
Right.
I'm gonna try to do it for another 20 years, but with this band, it's like it's one shot right now. Just do everything I want to do. People like it, awesome. I'm very grateful and thankful. People don't. That's fine too. I don't care. But I want to try to do everything I want.
Yeah, you're doing it for you, right? I mean,
it's fun, and it's like I said, it's so fun. The whole DIY aspect, help my wife with everything. Yeah. Listen to her talk about things she's doing. For me for the band. Yeah. That's fun.
That's awesome that she's stoked about it, man. Fucking big hats off to any of the ladies. You know what I mean? Standing behind cats like us that are. Out there being creative and chasing this type of dream, you know what I mean? Like
I think there's a lot of ladies that are so important that I've met in the punk community all over the U.S., all the touring we've done. But, it's like all the ladies, all the wives, all the girlfriends, and all the ladies, that putting in all the work, doing stuff. Yeah, it's awesome. I think there needs to be more of that.
Hell yeah.
I try to focus a lot on that. Our live shows, I always try to tell everybody, respect the ladies.
Yeah.
There's so much, garbage you hear about. That happens in the community. People attend shows or whatever. Yeah. Everybody needs to respect the ladies for sure.
Yeah. I was kind of blown away. There's a band, Skeletal Remains, that got a pretty bad rap this last February when they do that 70 Tons of Metal. That dude got called out for groping on women and doing crazy shit on that tour, on that cruise ship. I couldn't imagine being that guy because everybody in the whole death metal scene shut that dude down. He got kicked out of the band and everything like right away,
I read something about that. Yeah, it's just...
What a great band, though. They are such an awesome band. It sucks to have one bad asshole in there messing it all up for everybody, Yeah. I kind of want to touch on that, too, because right around that time, you guys were you guys kind of helped spearhead a little something around here, you know what I mean? There was Jack kind of put some guys on Front Street, and it gained momentum, and it kind of went through the punk scene. I know you guys had a tour booked and had, stuff at this venue at the time. That one St. Paul venue, we don't even have to say the name, but everybody kind of, fucking ran like rats as soon as people started talking about this guy abusing women and taking advantage of women and everything, you know. So
you remember what he's talking about?
Oh yeah, I remember.
Yeah. Okay.
yeah,
Yeah. That.
just you know, Jack brought it up.
Shocking.
Yeah, Jack brought it up, and then it was like, I know that you and your wife were, you know, I love seeing that because it's like, and I know you're connected to like his dad and other people like that, you know, but it's great to see kids like that have, you know, that type of morals to say, I'm not going to allow that shit to happen in the scene and kind of put it on Front Street. And just by his post, I ended up connecting with a lot of different people over that whole story because I was connected to that dude for a long time. He had been on this podcast. All the stuff that I've done with him has since been removed from my show because I just don't even want to be affiliated with that nonsense. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I also have seen, your wife talking about other venues in town, and I've messaged her directly and just kind of asked her what she knows about things, and I find it amazing that people do this stuff to keep our scene and people around our scene to kind of, you know what I mean, accountable for their bullshit. You know what I'm saying? And it's important. You know what I mean? It seems like it's big, but it's real small. Everybody knows everybody. Everybody knows everybody's business. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And it can be good and it can be bad. And it's tough when you have, you know, people talking shit about other people and they're not, you know, things aren't. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that it's difficult if people aren't willing to come forward and you get proof behind everything. You know how it goes. You know, it's very difficult. And when you get into situations like that, you don't want to put people's names out there. You don't want, you know what I mean, when it comes to abuse and people, you know, taking advantage of women and doing all kinds of shit like that. But I know that there's a lot of people that behind the scenes, you know, shun people like that, and it's a good thing, man. You know, racist dickheads and, you know what I mean, just fucking assholes, period, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I would definitely like to see more ladies involved in the scene. It's cool to see. It's inspiring.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of things I've seen women do as promoters, you know, and whatnot. They're working, you know, in record labels and distros that are just more professional than than 10 guys I can think of or name. Yep. You know, it's like, I think it sounds funny, but I think maybe in a lot of ways women are more responsible than men. I mean, I know my wife is more responsible than me.
Right.
You know, and it's inspiring.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
I think it in scenarios in a venue situation too. You know what I mean? They know they want to be safe in a situation. You know what I mean?
Everybody
so they're not
should
gonna
feel safe at a show. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say punk and metal shows are safe spaces. No, they're not. They never were, and they shouldn't be. But they should be to a degree. As far as, you know, we really should respect one another.
Yeah,
you
I
want to
agree.
fight somebody, do it outside.
Yeah.
You have beefs with somebody, do it outside the show. Don't do it in the show.
Right.
Dance, pick people off the floor. Don't harass and grab ladies.
Right.
You know, whatever it is. Yeah, everybody
What you
should.
would
It should be safe
think-
to that degree.
Yeah,
But at the same time, it's like they're not safe spaces.
Yeah.
And, you know, come on. They weren't when we were growing up.
Yeah.
You know, to me, it never will be. But just respect everybody. That's the key.
Yeah. That is it, man. I mean, I look at, I hear you talking and I just think to myself, what should be common sense is no longer common sense anymore. You know what I mean?
Not. That's the world we live in. It's like that with a lot of things.
Yeah.
Blows my mind.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know how we can function, man. I don't know how many people don't get punched in the mouth half the time, man. You know what I'm saying? It's pretty ridiculous, especially when you think, you know, but coming from an old school, you know, look at things, man. You know, you're like, fuck, I want to mash that dude one time, you know? Just learn him a lesson real quick, man. Let me see here. Tours, man. Like, tell me a couple bands. What are some bands that stick out from the last few times going out? What are some bands that you enjoyed playing with that have just went AWOL, or people just going absolutely crazy when you guys are jamming? Any stick out?
What's that? In Oregon? What was that one we did in Oregon at the arcade? That was pretty good.
You mean the one in Eureka?
Yeah.
Yeah, we play a show in Eureka, California, with these 3 or 4 metal bands, and everybody was kind of like didn't know what to think because the venue was like, you know, very stereotypical metal venues. We didn't know what to expect, but it ended up being really fucking cool.
Yeah,
like the bands really liked us. We really liked those bands. Yeah, it was like all 3 of those bands, they ripped. I can't think of their names right now, but they were great.
I remember Aberrant's They were talking to me about how they had all this shit got burned down in Paradise, because that's where they're from.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
From the fires and shit. Oh,
Yeah.
gotcha.
Yeah.
God, that would fucking suck, man.
Yeah, no
Holy
shit.
balls. I was really curious if we're gonna have the same type of summer we did last year, where we're getting all that smoke from Canada. You know what I mean? In California and fucking all over the damn place. Hopefully, somebody figured that out. When it comes to maintaining that fired fucking dry area at that point. You know what I'm saying? Like, how do you not maintain that shit? How do you not have water available for situations like that? You know?
I don't know. It makes you wonder.
Misallocated funds. It goes all back to the politics and the greed and shit that we were talking about though earlier. You know what I'm saying? Like it's never ending in any situation. And I mean, I do agree with you when it's like the same fucking a different wing of the same bird. You know what I'm saying? The same shit show on either end of it. It's really hard to not have a bleak outlook when you look at it. I'm like you though, man. I don't really like a lot of influence from outside, man. I try to keep my head away from all of that shit. It's really difficult when you're on social media all the fucking time, though. You know. What I mean?
The world we live in is completely different than when we grew up. And I think a lot about this, and I learn a lot about the world we live in right now because I have a 5-year-old and 8-year-old. My youngest one's at home, and the grandkids. That's just the world we live in. They're growing up in digital technology and AI. You just, as a parent, you just try to control it. But I talked to my wife about it. I'm like, we can't deprive them of all these things, but we can control the amount of time that they spend using them.
Right.
Because, if you take too much of that away from your kid, then they're going to lose out because they're growing up in this world. We don't have to like it, but I mean, it is what it is.
That seems like
As
it's
far as
going
you
way
were saying a
faster.
few minutes ago, like with the government, all that involved. I mean, it's like more than that. It's the wealthy and the elite that are in control.
Yeah.
Of everything in the world. All the world oil, the world banks. That's what's running everything, and they own everything else.
Yeah, it blows me away when you hear about this war that's going on right now. You know what I mean? And then you hear about the armaments that are being talked about, where these missiles came from us, or they came from Russia, or they came from somewhere else. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, you want to be in charge, in control of shit, but you're selling it to people, you know what I mean, that are gonna do bad things. They're gonna fuck shit up. You know what I mean? Like you just hear this constant cycle of us going in somewhere, removing their dictatorship or their fucking government, and then replacing it with something else that suffices for a little while, and then it goes a few years in advance, and then all of a sudden we're like, yeah, we don't like those guys anymore. They're not doing what we expected them to do. You know what I mean? And I think that's the situation where what we're in now. They're just blowing shit up, and
I think the whole deal with Iran, it comes down to this. Something happened, and it made the U.S. feel like we need to be in control of all the oil and all those resources down there. I think that's what it's all about. That's what the U.S. wants. Yeah. I think everything we're hearing, like seriously, all the things that I watch in the news every day, all week at home, it's like the rest of us. It's all the same thing. It's all propaganda. Yeah. Because if you're outside the U.S., you're not going to hear the same thing.
Right.
I spent time living in Europe in the 90s, and I remember, reading about U.S. news. It's like, well, you hear something different in the European news. So, we don't know what's going on, and part of me feels like, I'm definitely listening and paying attention to what Iran's saying, because it seems to be the opposite of the U.S.
Right.
And it's just, I don't know, but it comes down to just the U.S. wants control of all the oil and those resources.
Right.
And they're running the clock. The inflation's going up. Gas prices are really expensive here. Everything's getting really expensive, and it's starting to affect other countries around the world that are waiting for those resources.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's affecting them even more.
Yeah.
Here.
Yeah, it's crazy, man.
They just want the, and that's the thing. I say everybody, Trump this, Trump that. It's not just Trump. Trump's the guy they got orchestrating all this right now.
Yeah.
Because you better believe the next president that we're going to get, whether it's Democrat or Republican, is going to want the same thing.
Right.
That's the thing. It's like everybody has to get past what's going on and really
Right.
look at the big picture.
Right.
And I think then when it would get to that, that's when you would see the world change. But for something like that, that's a large scale, a lot of things happening. And for something like that to happen, it's going to take an entire new generation. And, that could be the generation we have right now, like
Yeah.
my kids, all the 5 and 8-year-olds.
Right. Right. Man, I hope we instill something in our children that are better than the shit that's going on now. You know what I mean? Like, it's a scary world, man. With kids and grandkids, man. You guys can attest to this, but it's just it's a bleak outlook, man. When I look at it, I'm just like, fuck. I feel
Got to raise our kids right.
Yeah.
We just got to instill, what is in our hearts.
Yeah.
We know what's right from wrong.
Yeah.
Make sure your kids know that too. That is all.
Yeah.
Because I know and know as well as anybody else, once you have teenagers and they graduate high school and they start college, I've had two, you realize, they become their own people.
Yeah.
And they have their own minds, they have their own hearts, and they believe what they believe.
Yeah.
What our kids believe is always different from what we believe, but
Yeah.
what you instill in them stays with them, and
Yeah.
those are the things that matter.
I agree with that, man. I feel like I've seen my kids go through things, and you think they're gonna falter. You know what I mean? Like you wonder if they're gonna make the right decisions, and it always seems like I've always been able to go, okay, just hold off, don't go too crazy, let them make the decisions. My wife likes to go in there and try to nurture way too much. Like, I've got to solve the problem for you. She doesn't allow them to run into it head first. You know what I mean? She's
It's really hard to let go. It was really hard for me.
Yeah.
My two oldest.
Yeah.
But that's all you can do with the kids is just really make sure you raise them right.
Yeah.
It's the common things that
Yeah.
we all know right from wrong. Unfortunately, the government doesn't act like
Yeah.
that. Wish they did. It'd be nice.
Right. It's crazy, man. They speak one thing but do a whole lot of other shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Thou shall not kill, but I'll tell you what, we're doing some bad shit over there. It's kind of crazy, man.
In a nutshell, I'm definitely not looking forward to the high gas prices for the summer tour, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
We're going to do the tour anyway. I'm not
Yeah.
going to be like, I don't want to do the tour because of the gas price. No, I'm not going to do that.
Right.
Fuck that.
Yeah.
They win.
Yeah.
I'm
Right.
too rebellious for that. We're going on tour anyway. Hopefully, the tip jar gets filled up at
Right.
the merch table. That will help.
Yeah,
the tip jar.
that's a plus, man. You gotta have that, folks. Make sure you do that. Make sure you tip. Hell yeah. So you've got some dates coming up. Like I said, we showed the first one, but and that's what'd you say? That's Pacific Northwest Harsh Fest 7, right? That's what that is.
Yeah.
And then how many other dates do you have going on? You said
I believe it's like it's after that it's 27 more.
Nice.
Yeah. Our last show is the 31st, and then we're home on August 1st.
Awesome.
So yeah.
Oh, yeah. Now we were talking off the air too. Like you've gone through some stuff right now. You're like in the process of healing up too. I saw you're looking for someone to come along with you to carry some stuff too, right?
Well, I had a shoulder surgery.
Yeah.
5 weeks ago, and I'm like healing up from it.
Now, did you fall?
No.
Did you do? Is just wear and tear on your body or what?
It's wear and tear on my body. I've been playing guitar a really long time. I play guitar very physically. And I've always worked, manual labor jobs all my
Sure.
life. I've been a machinist for the last 20 years. I was in the Carpenters Union for, 17 years before that. I've always, a lot of people don't know this about me. I try not to talk a lot about myself, but, my past, I've lived in LA for a really long time. I worked as a hired gun guitar player, and I assisted a lot of bands on recordings, tours, done a lot of radio, TV stuff,
Nice.
with music,
All
so many
punk-
years
all
of playing.
punk, or did you
my
do-
surgeon felt like after my MRI, the way my injury was probably related to playing guitar the way I do after a full examination, and just working too hard at work.
Yeah.
Killing my body. So yeah, they basically rebuilt my shoulder. It's been 5 weeks now, and I was hoping to resume band practices for the upcoming tour. At 6 and 7 weeks, that was the plan.
Yeah.
But I think I'm going to need a few more weeks. I can't play yet. I've
Yeah.
already tried.
Yeah.
Frustrating, but I'm hoping a couple more weeks. start resuming practices.
Do they have you on a PT schedule yet? Are they trying to figure that out as far as like physical therapy?
Yeah, physical therapy. My doctor wanted to start at 6 weeks after the surgery, but that would be next week. And I'm supposed to see the doctor on Tuesday. I think I need a couple more weeks for that because I just don't have the strength in my arm yet. You know, I think once I start physical therapy, I'll be fine. A few more weeks, I'll be able to start moving it more and moving it better. You know, they'll be able to start playing again too.
Yeah. Does that hurt you guys when it comes to jam? I mean, you guys going through the material together? You guys talking about the material? Got anything?
Yeah, we're already ready for the tour. Believe it or not. I mean, I knew before my surgery that my surgery was going to happen, so we started practicing consistently every week, and we already picked up a set list. You know, I've changed the set list a little bit, but we all play the songs together really well. Like everything's ripping right now. We're really happy with how we're playing, and
usually when we take time off, we just pick it right back up where we left off.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah,
we might even sound a little better because we're all stoked on it.
Right, ready to go for sure. I bet, man. I bet. Let me see here. Question for Mark: When you were in Total Chaos, what head were you using back then?
Oh, well, that was an old Marshall JCM 900 that I had, and I had a heavy metal. I think the M1 pedal I used for the gain.
Yeah, that's crazy, dude.
Whatever 412s were around that I could use to play through, whatever were available.
Yeah, just whatever you could find, huh?
Yeah. that was another one of the hired gun gigs that I had for a few years. You know, I went to living in Los Angeles is a lot different than most places. It's like New York, where you go somewhere like that, you need a manager, you need somebody to find you work.
Right.
So I got the money together, got a manager, and I got that audition.
So how did that come to be, dude? I like how you just go to a management company and say, hey, I need somebody to fucking.
There's people out there. You know, you meet people out there in the industry when just even if you're a local band playing local shows, you meet people.
Yeah.
If you're playing with the right bands that do that for a living. You know, like my wife is a promoter, for instance. It also works for me. If I need a tour booked or shows or whatever, I just talk to my wife.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that do things like that. So I was able to find a good reputable manager, somebody that had a lot of connections, and I wanted to start trying to find work doing what I loved, and it went pretty well for a good number of years.
Yeah.
I was very lucky. I did a lot of things that, maybe not everybody would do. Like I said, radio and television, music spots, things like that, working with a lot of different artists.
Yeah.
I've done guitar. I've laid guitar tracks down for rap artists in the past. I mean, it's all kinds of different things. But the Total Chaos thing, that was cool. That was I got to do 2 Vans Warped tours with them.
Nice.
Over the first 3 years. That was
the fuck
really
was
cool.
that,
I've never Vans Warped tour. I mean, I would have never imagined doing something like that.
Yeah.
I don't think about that with Infuriate. Nothing I would want to do. But it was a good experience, and it paid my rent. I got custody of my kids. My oldest 2, they were really little. I was raising them on my own. My mom was helping me a lot. So I did a lot of work with Total Chaos, like the tours.
Yeah.
And it worked for me because it was a good income at the time.
Yeah.
And I was certainly working. I had a machine shop job out there when I was home.
That's awesome, dude. Keeping yourself busy. That's cool. I mean, dude, the whole manager thing just blows my mind. You just through the network, you just kind of meet someone and they.
That's the thing. It's like a lot of people living here don't realize. You go places like New York City and Los Angeles. Just attending. Cool shows that there's 1,000 people at a show. You're going to meet people if you mingle. There's a lot of people that especially nowadays with the whole social media and technology. People go to work for themselves. People start their own record labels or start their own distros. People say, "Hey, I know all these people. I think I'm going to be a promoter and start booking tours for bands." You can make money doing that. People know a lot of people. They could, become a manager. There's always people to meet. You just really have to meet people. And I didn't realize it was that easy until I actually did it. And I was pretty young. Yeah. But somebody suggested, you just have to put yourself out there, talk to people, and you find a good person you feel like you could trust.
Right.
You're going to give them a large amount of money to find you this work, and it worked. Thankfully, it worked out. I didn't get ripped off.
Yeah. There's
Guy
a
was very professional.
lot of stories of people that do take that dive and end up getting ripped off by people who think they know what they're doing. You know, that's a
I
tough
learned
story.
so much living in LA back then. It's like I got a taste of, you know, the lifestyle bands like Slipknot, Metallica live, like that whole entourage that the regular public doesn't see. I got a taste of all that, and then stuff what really happens backstage, and a lot of stuff you read about. Yeah, it happens. It's mind blowing, but it was a good experience. You know,
Sure.
it was fun. I was young.
How'd you survive it?
Yeah, that's the story.
That would be it right there, man. You know, that was one thing. You know, when I was a young man, you know, when I was getting label interest and people coming and talking to me and doing all that shit here, I ran into a punk cat that I knew who was doing some poppy punk type stuff, and he got on the road. And when he came back, he was managing a pool hall in Minneapolis.
Oh wow!
And I stumbled in there with a label person that I knew, like, oh, dude's in town. I can't even remember his name right now. But we went to the pool hall and we're hanging out, and we started talking about that stuff. And he was like, yeah, it got to be a little bit too much, you know, like drugs are free, you know, things are free. Everybody wants to do this. And he's like, when the band started leaving me on different dates, you know, when he'd get fucked up and he'd take off with a chick and then not show up, and then the band would go to the next date and he'd have to figure out a way to get to the next date. You know what I mean? He's like, that started getting pretty crazy. Said he woke up in the gutter in New Orleans and that was it. He goes, I couldn't do it anymore. He's like, I thought I was going to die, dude, you know? So you got any good stories like that?
That story kind of brought me back. I was in my early or mid 20s and officially started my cocaine addiction.
Yeah.
And by the time I was done playing, when I left Total Chaos, it was 2006. And I left there just because that was like really when the big recession happened in the United States.
Yeah.
You felt it in the industry first.
Right.
But up to that point,
that's what I'm curious about, the whole touring
all
thing,
those years,
you know?
not saving all that money that I made, and I did pretty well. You know, I raised my kids.
Yeah.
And in the end, realizing I had probably a $40,000 a year cocaine habit. That wasn't good, because first getting into it, they don't tell you you're going to pay for this. It's one of the luxuries you get when you get to that level and you do those tours, hang around those bands. You know, you're on the road. It's like everything you ask for, everything you want. There's a price tag. When I was 25 years old, I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
And at the end of the year, you know, I've had people coming up to me, you owe me $30,000, $40,000, blah, blah, blah. That went on for 17 years.
That's crazy.
Very, very bad.
That's crazy.
Almost destroyed my first marriage.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's all part of the fun.
Yeah.
That's what happens. But with my situation, I never saved any money.
Yeah.
It's like now, you know, I'm 58 years old, and I would like to retire from my job, but I can't. I've, you know, remarried and got more kids. You know, should have saved that money.
Yeah.
But I didn't. Partied it away.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of, and I say this on this podcast all the time when I get talking about this, man. These lessons right here, man. You know, when I think about younger bands listening to this type of stuff, and these type of pitfalls, man, where you get in it and you start getting introduced to the drugs and start getting introduced to the girls and the fun and all the craziness that goes along with it. Now you're in LA. This is something completely different than it would be here.
It's definitely different out there than New York. I'm not that familiar with New York, but I am Chicago.
Same type of thing,
LA,
man.
LA was wild. It still is.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It's like I remember being out there a few years ago. We were on tour, and I was just like, what the hell? People are acting like it's still the 90s and Motley Crue and blah, blah, blah.
Right.
It blows my mind. But, yeah, nothing's changed.
I'm supposed to ask about the Marilyn Manson house.
Oh, yeah, that we were talking when I was working. I met another person. I was actually in this band Temple of Dagon, and our other guitar player Kyle had a cousin Jesse.
Yeah,
Jesse was a really big industrial fan,
Yeah.
and Kyle told him about me. So me and Jesse started hanging out. I love industrial music. He was friends with Chris Verena. Chris Verena is a very well-known producer. He's the drummer for Nine Inch Nails and Marilyn Manson.
Okay.
All those early records.
yeah.
Chris Verena is a big producer, has produced Metallica records, Megadeth, Slayer records. Very well-known guy, big industrial guy. So he invited me. come over to the house one day. Told me about how he was hanging out with Chris. He's like, I told Chris all about you. He's over. He's got at Marilyn Manson's recording studio at Marilyn Manson's house. So, long story short, we ended up going over there the next day. And he had a lot of houses in Los Angeles have back houses, like another house on the other side of the yard. That's where the studio was. He's got a house in Beverly Hills. Nice house. There's nothing, it wasn't what I was thinking it was going to be, but it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And I spent the next 24 hours in this back house partying with them. That was the last time I did cocaine.
Yeah.
That
of
was
it?
like, wasn't a relapse, but
Was it a
I've
lot?
been clean for about 20 years, but that 24-hour period, I did do some. But I hung out with Chris Verona. I recorded six guitar tracks to these 6 songs that he was putting together. He did all the percussion and the samples and the keyboard work, and he was having other people come in and play on all these songs. Give me $1,200 to do it. I couldn't believe it. I hung out there for 24 hours. During the 24 hours at one time, I remember going outside into Marilyn Manson's house, the big in-ground pool, and you walk across, you go into the house up the lawn, and I just went into the kitchen, just wanted some water, and there was a sugar, I shit you not, a sugar bowl. It was just big, and there wasn't sugar in it. But it looked like it could be, but it wasn't. I couldn't believe it. Yeah.
I sold coke to him a couple times.
I will say, I was formerly introduced to Marilyn Manson. His name's Brian, super nice guy.
Yeah.
I will say everything that he does as an artist is all for shock and shock value.
Yeah.
Seems like a very, very nice guy, but they definitely partied. They partied over there. But I hung out and talked to him for a little bit off and on throughout that 24 hours for maybe 45 minutes. He seemed like a nice guy. It was a cool experience.
Yeah, I bet. Holy shit.
Working with Chris Verona was great. I never got copies of those tracks I played on, but I know something was done with it. Somebody else from it was like some people from Chicago were going to come out. I remember he was talking about that we're going to record out of it. One of them was somebody from Big Black. I remember Big Black from Chicago.
Yeah, okay.
Somebody in that band was going to come out. Billy Corgan from Smashing Pumpkins was going to come out and play something on it. And I was just like, wow, holy shit.
Yeah.
Definitely awesome experience.
Very cool. Thanks for the questions, by the way. I appreciate it. That's really cool. Very cool story that I would have never known about or even thought to ask about that shit, man. That's cool. It seems like you've had a lot of experiences, man. That's
met a lot of interesting, cool people.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, living in LA is fun. I would love to move back.
Yeah. I bet you got a lot of friends over there. A lot of people, a lot of connections still, huh?
Yeah.
Do you, I mean, when you guys go tour, do you still connect with a lot of the older folks?
We've made I don't know Tom or Sergio. For myself, I've made a lot of new friends. I try to keep in contact with everybody, and I've built probably 4 particular really close friendships with these guys. I mean, we talk every week during the week. I mean, they know I'm home from work. I'm not working because of my shoulder.
Yeah.
And I'm home bored all day, and I talk to these guys all week. It's awesome. Yeah, it's cool to like go out on tour and play with them. Everybody knows each other. My wife knows everybody.
Yeah.
It blows my mind sometimes still, but yeah.
That's fantastic, man. You can't beat that, man. I've said it a million times, man. Networking is the key to be out there when you're doing that shit. You have to make connections with people.
But I definitely don't network. I don't not like what you're saying.
Sure.
I just really try to like make really good friendships with people. So that's the thing. It's like with bands that I'm a fan of.
Right.
I don't. It's cool when you meet people, but you want to like your friend's band. So it's like most of the time when I'm meeting new people, it's because I really like their band.
Yeah.
And I just want to be their friend and. Let's do a
genuine.
together,
That's genuine shit, man. That's cool shit. That's how you make bonds like that, man. Being real, being genuine, not like like, hey, you're a big band. I want to fucking rub elbows with you. I hated that shit with people, man. People get so fucking phony when it comes to that shit, man. You're like, dude, sit down, shut up already. With that stupid shit,
That's the hard thing about living in LA. When I was living out there, I was mind blown by the amount of people that really think there's something big and they're all that when they're really not.
Yeah. It's
like, man, it's like your band's cool, but you ain't that cool.
Right.
In other words, everybody's got really bad egos, but that's just the way of life out there.
Yeah.
Everything is business.
Yeah.
And it goes back to what you were saying about the networking. I'm not all about business. I'm in all this just to make friends and play with my friends' bands.
Yeah.
my wife handles all the business. I'm just not like that. Like if I wasn't married to her, the band would be in a lot of trouble because
I think so.
I'm not all business at all. We'd play all these shows for free. I want to just be there to do it.
Right. Yeah, it's just not possible, especially with the economy the way it is right now.
Yeah, I don't like the business, man.
Yeah.
Never have.
That's stupid, man. It makes it not fun anymore, man. You know what I mean? If you're stuck in that shit, you're like, this is not fun. I'm dealing with these assholes who just want to cut my pants off the whole time. You know what I mean? They got your pockets and they're fucking sawing right through them. You know what I mean? Like, come on, man. You know, you can't throw a guy a couple bucks to do something cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, who the fuck else is going to do it? You know what I'm saying? You're going to get
too much work.
These Korean pop bands and shit. That's all you're going to get. Ding, 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 ding. You know, that's all they're going to do, man. You're going to make that shit in the studio, you know? It's dumb as fuck. AI, man. I just had a friend, and I know that he's using it for good, is what, you know. He's a guitar player on his own, kind of in the middle of nowhere, and I asked him if he was playing. I'm like, you still playing? He's like, fuck yeah, I'm playing. He's like, you want to hear some of my stuff? I said, sure. He sent me this track, and I'm like, whoa, that's way too polished. What's going on here? Now, I just listened to it, and I left it unread for a second. And you just see him go, oh, yeah, by the way, I'm using AI to do this just so I got my riffs so they're cohesive with a drummer. I kind of put it this way, and I'm like, okay, that makes sense. But God damn, that sounds way too polished. Like, you know, and then he sends me another one where the guitars are a little off. You know what I mean? It sounds more human. I was like, all right, that sounds a little bit better, man. But you can't be just taking that shit and, you know, look at what I created. Just this well-polished, you know, right out the box type of thing. It's scary the way that AI shit's coming along, man. Yeah. You see some of those videos, man. It's really, really, God, Zart or Yarf. There's some weird Polish band that's doing these AI videos with demons dancing around and shit.
Oh, wow.
Zvart, or I can't even remember the name of them. See if I can look them up real quick.
So much of the AI stuff is so new to me because I'm just not like computer tech savvy.
Right.
Like, you know, so much stuff on my phone. My kids or my wife have to like show me, you know, what to do, how to do this, how to do that, you know, on whatever apps. I'm blown away by all the AI stuff that I do see. I'm like, wow, like I've sent stuff like reels to my wife on the toilet. Sent reels to my wife, and she'll text me back, oh, that's AI, that's not real. And it's like something I see that's really funny. Yeah. I'm like, well, how the hell can you tell? But
Dude,
you know, I'm learning about
that
it.
That shit bugs me so bad. It like makes everything, like I don't believe anything what I see, man. It's like everything is fake, you know what I mean?
That's how I feel. That's what's
you were
wrong
talking
with
about
everything.
skating earlier, you know, you showed the video of you skating. Dude, I've even seen skate clips where I'm like, no fucking way. No way, dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
when I watch skate clips, I want it to be real and true.
I want to see a
It's
biff.
like,
I want to see a biff. At least one good hard crack. You know what I'm saying? Stand
yeah,
up there.
the Stoke has to be true. You know
Right,
what I
dude.
mean?
Yeah. It's fucking hilarious, man, you know? Some of that shit. Tell me about Indominance. Tell me about that one. That's the next one up. Indominance.
Indominance. Indominance actually is the song that I wrote for my youngest son, Shaden, my 5-year-old. The lyrics of that song is a dedication to him. It's just basically the lyrics to that song are about, you know, it's for him one day when he's older and I'm gone. He can listen to and read the lyrics. It's just basically, you know, this is the world we live in. This is how I want you to look at it. This is what I want you to remember to do. And, you know, basically the lyric in the song is, you know, my strength and my love will always be with him, you know, when he has that. So that's basically what that song's about.
Oh, yeah, man. Very cool, dude. Very cool. We're going to take a listen to that one. Folks, stick around. We'll be right back. we go, man. Fucking A. Indominance. What's going on, man? That's fantastic. I hope you guys are enjoying these tunes, man. They're fucking awesome. You guys put together some cool shit, man. I really dig that. I can see how you guys mix in with some good death metal stuff, dude. You know what I'm saying? You guys have that good heavy edge to it, man. It's not.
Thank you.
Yeah, I really enjoy it, man. Like I said, I was listening to it at work yesterday, the 4 songs that you sent me, and I was like, I want to smash some shit. I was like, all right, let's be honest. I'll probably fall down and break my hip is what the deal would be. Writing process, man. How do you guys go about writing stuff? I know that you said you come up with some ideas while you were on tour, but do you guys get into a room and jam, or do you guys do you just come up with ideas and run it from there, or what?
Yeah, we just meet up at the studio on the day we practice every week, and I showed them the main couple riffs and kind of explain, well, let's play it at this arrangement, the easiest arrangement, just to play the riff together. And we just go right in and start jamming it, and then jam it a bunch of times, and then just the songwriting process starts, arrange, the riffs around.
Yeah.
Make the song, come alive. Obviously with my idea, Sergio's really good with the arrangements. He's really good with helping me make the right arrangements for the songs.
Yeah.
Which makes sense. He's a really good drummer. He understands what we're doing. A lot of it's, like I said, I keep going to the death metal thing because that's all I've been listening to for the past couple of years. Like, more than what I probably was listening to before that.
I know you mentioned Deicide, but what is some of the other death metal stuff you're getting into lately?
I really like Immolation a lot.
Nice.
I've been listening to them a lot lately, following them around on the YouTubes.
I know that last album was fucking phenomenal. I was
Yeah.
never really into those guys back in the early days. For some odd reason, they didn't click for me.
Yeah.
There's so many other death metal bands like in that same era that were amazing, and for some reason Immolation wasn't one of those, but their last album was fucking phenomenal, just all the way through, just good solid old death metal shit.
Yeah, I've always really
catchy.
liked that band a lot. I like their first couple of records a lot.
Yeah,
they're really cool.
see, and those are the ones that I should have got into too, because it was, like I said, all of that good old stuff was right around that time. That old Entombed and fucking, Bolt Thrower and Carcass and Unleashed. And,
Bolt Thrower and Entombed were two of the bands that I've been listening to more of again the last couple of years. That probably inspired my songwriting.
Yeah,
a lot. Dissection,
Yeah.
they're an old school punk death band. I listened to a lot of their old stuff.
yeah. What are you listening to these days, man?
Well, I don't really listen to music very much.
Not at all.
Not
Really?
too much, no.
You don't. Not
but,
at all.
But I've been listening to kind of like, I don't know, have you ever heard Glue? They're pretty good.
Where are they
I've been
from?
just, I think they might be from Texas. I don't even know. But just like heavy punk shit,
Yeah.
Not like they're not really sound metal though.
Right.
But yeah, I listen to death metal too. I like Obituary a lot.
Yeah. That's one of my favorites, man. Well, all-time favorites. I used to hate that band when I first heard them. I was like one of the worst. I was like, that Slowly We Rot, man. I was like, this is the worst album ever. I actually traded it away. I traded Slowly We Rot for Flotsam and Jetsam, No Place for Disgrace. And then I was like,
remember that.
and then like maybe 6 months later, I got into Cause of Death first. That was the first album that really like grabbed me. I was like, all right, this shit's cool. And then I was like, dude, you listen to that Slowly We Rot anymore? And the dude's like, oh, I don't really listen to it. I was like, I'll trade you for some other shit. He was like, okay, cool. Handed it back to me. And I was like, yeah, it was fucking awesome, dude. I loved it. I remembered it was the same one too, because the tape would get stripped out and you'd have to stick your thing in there and wind it back up. It got crisscrossed a little bit on the very beginning, so it had this little crackle to it. So when I put it in, I pushed play. I was like, yep, that's the same fucking one. It was awesome. That was the day, man, back then, man. Did you guys remember that shit? Like, trading tapes with each other, and like, you guys make fucking playlists for homies or parties and shit? Did you guys do that back in the day?
Oh yeah, we did that for sure.
Yeah.
Like dumb copies for like
Yeah.
friends. Like,
Yeah.
That's how you like discover new bands and
Yeah.
stuff, you know?
Yeah, that was the coolest shit, man. Like, hey, what was that band on the fourth song there? And they're like, fuck, you got to rewind it. I'm not sure. I had 5 beers in between that time.
And then you listen to it a million times, or like dubs of dubs, the quality gets worse and worse.
Yeah.
And then your favorite tape it like breaks, and then you like take it apart with the tiny screws and like tape it back together.
Dude, I want to say, God, what was one of the first ones that I wrecked right away? I think it was like Beastie Boys License to Ill or some shit. I ate through like 4 copies of that shit. I just love that album so much when I was a kid.
I remember that.
Wandering around with my little Sony Walkman just playing that shit nonstop. That and Slayer back in the day too, man.
I was heavily into tape trading back, probably the mid and late 80s, heavily into tape trading. And I remember the first time I ever heard Repulsion.
Yeah.
Everybody knows who Repulsion are back now, but, back then, 88, 89, I heard about them through tape trading. Same time I heard about Sodom. I was kind of late learning about Sodom, but yeah.
Yeah, that's like a
cassette tapes are the best.
a huge
what?
They're German, right? Sodom's German, right? They're like a German thrash band or something. I want to see this.
I don't even know,
I
really.
think Sodom's German.
I have to Google it.
Yeah, I had. What did they have? Nuclear Winter.
Awesome,
I think
though.
that was the one.
They're
I
still
had.
an active band. They're still
Yeah.
playing. I follow them now, and it's like, what the fuck? It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I had Agent Orange. Sodom was. I had fucking Nuclear Winter. I think it was, or maybe that was one tunes. Sodom website. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
1987. Woo wee.
Yeah.
We some old motherfuckers right there.
So I was thinking I was 88, 89. Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy, man. Let me see here. Now, what would you say now if somebody want to get into to your guys' genre of music? Are there bands like intro bands you would suggest people to like listen to? Things underground shit that you guys would say?
I think we Infuriate definitely falls in the category of stuff like, even the new War Collapse, a band called War Collapse, their new album's really good. I've been listening to a lot of their stuff. A lot of, probably more darker types of crust bands, D-beat crust bands. I would definitely say maybe Martyrdod, Skit System for sure.
Where's that? Where are they from? You know where any of these bands are
Those
from?
bands are all from Sweden.
Okay.
Swedish, man. I love that kind of sound. It's not so much stench crust, but it's more, just faster, heavier,
Yeah.
more death metal influence.
Right. You can hear that. I mean, it just in the sound that I've heard from you
Yeah.
guys, you can hear that old school death metal sound in there.
There's a band everybody should check out from Vancouver, Canada. They're called Hedonist.
Hedonist?
Yeah, Hedonist. And they play like bolt thrower worship, death metal. They're fucking great. Not that we sound a lot like them, but they're one of the bands I would like categorize under like kind of the stuff that we play.
Yeah. That's
definitely
fucking
like stuff like Skid System, a War Collapse. I think Nuclear Death Terror, stuff like that. They were from Denmark.
Yeah. That's fucking awesome, dude. I like that shit. Let me see here. What do you guys think about? Let me see here. I wanted to ask you about creativity, man. When it comes to creativity, how do you guys stay creative, stay focused on creativity? Like, is it something that you guys do on a regular basis? Do you feel like you have to create something? You have to do things. What do you? Are there other things you guys create, other like doing artwork, anything like that beyond just the music? Especially like you're not working right now. You're not doing anything. You're just hanging. Is there any kind of creative stuff? You're writing lyrics? You doing anything?
I really like making art. My wife downloaded this really cool app on my phone, and I could make like anything I want, posters, all the artwork on our record. I did all that.
Nice.
There's some other releases we have coming up, different split compilations with a couple other bands and a couple other record labels we're working with. I did the artwork for all that stuff. I like making art. I'm all about the cut and paste, but I'm not doing that. I'm doing it on my phone.
Yeah.
But it's kind of the same thing. Collage
That's
art.
old school,
Putting stuff
dude.
together. Yeah, it
That's
just
old
looks
school.
cool.
I'm
I'm not into the whole AI digital art.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know everybody's like busting DSI's ass because DSI, I think everybody's saying they chose to use, AI art for their album cover.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I don't really have an opinion on AI art. I'm still learning about it, but it's not good.
Right.
It's just, it's like, it's just cooler to make it yourself, I think.
Yeah.
There's bands I still like Drop Dead. Drop Dead are from the East Coast, are a hardcore, grindcore band, have been around for like 40 years. They still do all their artwork themselves, just like black and white.
Yeah.
Just, like the artwork I sent you.
Yeah.
It's a photo of the catacomb skulls
Yep.
that I found on the computer at the library like 10 years ago. And I photocopied it off the printer. And I'm like, this will look badass. I take a bunch of pictures of it and then try to alter it, and then use it for the record cover.
Yeah,
I
but
like
you're
stuff
still
like
making
that.
that.
It's
You
just
know,
cooler.
you're taking that as a base, and you're changing it. You're altering it to make it your own. That's the real shit. Man.
Cool.
I love that shit.
I don't know why
great.
all bands don't do that. So
Yeah.
I mean, AI arts. I guess. I mean, AI. Everything looks perfect,
Right.
and that's fine. That's fine if that's what you want, but it's not for me. I
Right.
mean, be over here making all my.
Yeah,
own
man,
stuff.
keeping it
I like
real,
all the mistakes.
dude. Yeah,
even like
dude.
on the record, the recording. I was telling Adam, if there's, again, with this record, if there's, I don't want it perfect. If there's mistakes, unless it's something really bad, then fix it. But if there's little mistakes here and there, just leave that shit. And for the most part, he left everything. He's like, oh, you guys played it perfectly, blah, blah, blah. But there's this part and that part. And I'm like, leave it. I like it that it's not all perfect.
Yeah.
You know? Keeps it more punk rock.
Fuck yeah. Oh yeah, that's what it's all about, right? Keeping it fucking punk rock, man. That's fucking awesome, dude. Now you're gonna heal up. You're gonna get your shit together. You guys got a tour coming up soon, right?
July. We're gonna leave July 8th on a Wednesday.
Yeah.
First show's in, that festival in Washington. I want to be out there on Friday. It's a camp out thing, so I want to get there Friday and kind of
Get a
hang
spot.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah, get a spot.
Oh yeah, and then it's fucking gas and go, man. Well, I hope you heal up good, dude. I hope everything goes well and you're ready to rip, man. When are you expecting to have this the physical copies of this album?
Oh yeah, we're supposed to get them like the second or the third or last week of June. I should have them.
Now, did you say you did CDs? Did you do records? Did you do tapes? Did you?
We're working with 3 record labels that really like us. 2 of the record labels are here in the U.S. They're going to do cassette and CD runs. They just actually confirmed that last night, and I sent them more stuff. And they're both working together to release the record, and then I'm releasing the record myself. Like I have 100 copies coming from the pressing plant. I went with the 100s. Like hopefully I could sell 100 on tour, but yeah. Kind of
It's a
everybody
good
working
goal,
together.
man. You can always get more, right? I mean, that's the deal, right? You can always get
Yeah.
more. Or do you guys do like Deterioration does, and you only do so many of a release? Do you guys do shit like that yet, or anything?
Yeah, I mean, I right now I just want to do like the 100 records, and
Yeah.
I want to hand number each one of them, and
Yeah.
then maybe never repress them unless
Yeah.
the record labels want to. I already talked to that about those guys. Those guys kind of like they want more copies, but money's an issue, and I'm like, well, if you guys don't want to repress them, I don't care. I might not want to, but yeah, so it's going to come from me and them, and it should be out. I'll release it. I'll advertise for it on Bandcamp. Upload some music on it, and for sale on Instagram. I'll share it on social media. As soon as I get it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's
So-
fantastic. I mean, are you guys? Where's the best place to get your guys' music right now? Where can people hear it? I know I found it on Bandcamp. It was
The Bandcamp, yeah.
Okay,
I would just do the Bandcamp. We're gonna upload a couple. One of the tracks you played today and a different track we're gonna upload on there probably in another week or two. I kind of want to wait right before I get the record.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, that's cool. Hopefully, if people get a chance to listen to this, they'll go back and they'll at least listen to the tunes. They'll be able to get kind of a little preview of it. Get a taste for what's to come. Now, I love that you sent me. I thought it was super cool that you sent me the one track, and it says on there for cassette. So it's just like it just played all the way through, and I'm like, wait a second, I need separate tracks. How the fuck am I going to do this? And I'm like,
I'm sorry.
No,
Adam, when Adam sent me everything, he sent me all these different formats.
Yeah.
He's like, okay, because this pressing plant's going to want it in this format.
Yeah.
That one's going to want it in this format. So yeah, that's why I did that.
Dude,
My
that's
bad.
super cool that he does it like that though.
No,
man. That's
Adam's awesome.
part of the package. Dude, that's all I hear about Adam and Signature Tone. Everybody who's come in here that's worked with him and at that studio, they've either talked about all the cool gear he's got there.
Yeah.
Like, dude, we dialed in this tone and I had this tone and he added this one to it and it just filled it out so much more. And
Yeah.
and then again, I asked about the videos, man, because I've had probably 7 bands on here that have gone there and had videos done.
I know they did for Apothic.
Yeah.
I like Nate's band a lot.
Yeah.
Apothic is probably my favorite local Minneapolis band. I saw their video and I was like, yeah, maybe I should have fucking let him videotape us because it was cool. We don't have anything like that.
Yeah.
But that was awesome. And Nate's awesome. He shreds. Yeah. I love that guy.
Yeah, Nate's good shit, man. He's doing good things, man. And
He is. He's doing so much for kids and young musicians. It's
dude,
really
for
inspiring.
himself too, dude. You know, to be around that cat and working with him and just seeing what he's been through. And I've had him on the podcast a whole bunch and talked to him. I think, you know, I had him on here like right before he went into rehab, you know, and it was like a horrible situation. Like
I watched that one.
he
yeah.
was, dude, and just to see him go through the shit and then, you know, go through rehab and then come back out. And I'm gonna pull this up on the screen right here just so people can see that. Nate's got a fucking GoFundMe for his Empower Kids with Guitars through Make a Riff. So he's been doing this Make a Riff thing for a few years now, and that's how I really kind of fell in love with Nate, because Nate is one of them dudes that he goes above and beyond. Nate's a guitar teacher here at the Shred Den, does a lot of cool things for kids, and this Make a Riff shit, he's been doing it for a while, and he's like, you know, his buddies will donate gear, like real high-end gear, good stuff, man, you know, like hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of shit. I mean, I've seen him give away half stacks to people. The kid that he did just last weekend, the only thing I said to him was like, dude, good selection, because he gave him a Wolfgang Van Halen guitar, right? And the kid grabs it and he plays it, and then he did another clip of this kid just shredding, man. I mean, just letting it rip. And I'm like, see, that's the shit that I love, man. You know, like
I've noticed he's even the amps that he gives these kids is like top of the line amps, like he's giving away Marshalls, and you know, and stuff like that. You know, 412s. I'm just like, man, this guy is he's definitely an angel.
Well,
it's awesome,
dude. It's crazy to think, you know what I mean? But what I love about it, and he posted another video today of like how his process goes in selecting these kids too, and he's got, you know, 7. Or I didn't even watch the whole video. It was just so many back-to-back kids just shredding on guitar, you know what I mean? And it's even people playing live gigs with this horseshit, gear.
Yeah.
And you know, people putting their, you know, hats in the ring to get this gear from him, man. It's super cool, folks. If you can help, man, help Nate out. He's right there on the screen. He's been doing it. He's damn close, 89% to the money that he's trying to get. He just sent a guitar to California this week. He's doing it all over his Facebook and shit. So it's so cool, man. I love that shit. I think it's badass.
It's
know,
inspiring.
When
you know, what he's doing for all these kids is all these kids. I watch those videos too.
Yeah,
it's like, man, I wish I was that good at guitar at that age.
Right.
Mind blowing.
Yeah,
It's like super awesome.
Yeah.
Really
I work with the grandpa of one of the kids that he teaches, and this kid absolutely loves Nate. You know what I mean? And the kid eats and sleeps guitar. Like, his grandpa comes and goes, dude, look what this kid bought this week. And he's got Ozzy tennis shoes that, you know, got the Bark at the Moon on it and shit, dude. Like, this kid they're going to see that Iron Maiden movie tomorrow, man. Him and his grandpa. And the kid got he got a guitar from Nate. The Shred Den donated him a guitar. Shortly after that, his grandparents bought him like a fucking American Fender, you know, like a high-end Fender guitar. And the kid just... his grandpa comes to work all the time telling me great stories. I've talked about this kid a million times on here. He's just one of those. I love it, dude. He's 11 years old and he just eats and sleeps music, man.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he's going to be such a great guitar. So he was having a hard time in school, and his grandpa was telling me some shit, right? So he friends me on Facebook because I talked to him about him on the podcast a couple times. You know what I mean? This kid, I love that he just eats and sleeps music. So I get to talking to him, and I'm like, hey, man, you know, you're really getting the best of it all. You know, and he's talking about Slipknot. I said, dude, I grew up with them. I know these guys, blah, blah, blah. And you start talking about things that you know, and he's going, oh, how did you meet these guys? Like, and he's, you're telling him stories. You're letting him hear all this cool shit. And I'm like, your grandpa was there doing the same shit. I'm like, that's what's cool. Your grandpa's been sober 27 years, and you're getting all the cool shit from learning music. Yeah. I'm like, you get the cool part of music. You don't have to deal with all the drugs and all the bullshit. Right in the early parts of it, man, this kid is going to be leaps and bounds above all of the musicians I've ever met in my life, because he's just getting so much cool shit and so much cool info and insight. Like, this kid has been on Rockfest side stage with his grandpa playing up there. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
That's
11
amazing.
years old, like, getting ready to run up there and grab a fucking quarter of cable, dude. It's awesome, you know? I'm sure your kids will be doing that shit too, huh?
Gives me hope that metal and punk will keep on living, won't die out. I wonder sometimes with all the, commercial pop culture music.
Yeah.
It's nice to know with all these kids what Nate's doing. Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, it's
Passing the torch.
It's inspiring, man. So inspiring.
Yeah.
And I talked about this too, man. With the show that we're talking about when we met in 2023 with Jack's band, Visceral Reaction. Meeting, knowing Bucky through the music scene for so many years, and him coming up to me at the Skyway and introducing me to the kid. I thought it was super cool that he would even think of me. You know what I mean? Like, Bucky's like, hey, you still doing the thing? You still doing this? Help this kid out. The next week, the kid's opening for Crowbar. Like, how much more do you want me to help the kid? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But then he played the show. You know what I mean? And I love seeing it. There had to have been 3 or 4 parents that I stopped during that show just to say, hey, thanks for fucking passing this shit on to these kids and allowing them to make all this crazy noise in your house. You know what I mean? Those parents, it's kind of like the girlfriends we meet or wives that we have that support us in the shit we're doing. You gotta appreciate those folks so much, because it's like they're allowing these kids to take in the good shit of it all, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's awesome.
I think music is one of those gateways to keep people out of trouble. You know what I mean? I was watching a YouTube video about a punk cat that was doing some punk stuff and touring around with his punk band, and then he got into like motorcycle groups and shit, and he was running around with motorcycle groups, and he explains it. He's like, I was really rough as a kid growing up with the skinheads and anti-racist skinheads, He's like, I was always fighting. I was always doing all this shit. He said, once I found punk and I started, it was like a brotherhood. Everybody, watched each other. You're out on the road. You're doing all this shit. That aggression, it's harnessed. You know what I mean? You're keeping it focused. And he's like, I noticed that if you don't keep guys like me focused, you get more into the criminal element of shit. It's like being from a broken home, man. You know what I mean? Like, your parents are working extra hard to keep you alive, and you're living in the ghetto, man. You're not necessarily being watched all the time. You can get into some shit, So finding music, I think, is one of those things that keeps that those idle hands kind of at bay, where you're more focused on creating songs, that the structure of shit. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, definitely. I notice there's a lot of young people out there that are exceptionally good at their instrument. I think, wow, you don't have time to get in trouble. You're literally at home in the bedroom, 10 hours a day, like I was, playing your guitar, your instrument, whatever it is they do. And that's awesome. But you're right. You spend that much time to get good at your instrument, you don't have time to get in trouble. You have time to go to bed, to go back to school.
Yeah.
That's a good thing.
It's
all
definitely,
kids need to play music.
Hell yeah, I agree, man. I agree. I think all kids need to learn how to punch other kids in the face too, or just
that would help.
You know what I mean? I really do, man. It's like, all right, it's boxing class. You know what I mean? Remember that kid who was picking on you? You know what I mean? You're just like, oh, well, we got gloves on. We got to punch each other now. It's when you get them. I love that shit. I think people should always be able to protect themselves. It's good shit. Dude, I really appreciate you guys coming in and sharing this badass music, man. It's great that you guys are moving forward. You got, I'll put the flyer up again. This is their first show, the Pacific Northwest Harsh Fest 7. All the details are on the screen. You've got, 24 other gigs other than this one? So you'll have
something like that, 24, 26, something like that.
You'll be circulating these flyers. They'll be on your Facebook and your Instagram, correct? Is there?
Yeah, I'll share them as they come in eventually.
Yeah.
I start getting them from people. We haven't formally announced the tour yet either. I'm working on the artwork for that, so You know, I'm gonna wait till
One
probably
thumb
I
at a
get-
time?
when I get the records.
One thumb at a time. You're just working on it slowly.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah?
It sucks. I'm left-handed, and I can't. Yeah, doing everything with my opposite hand.
This shit. Are you doing it?
Yeah.
Oh man.
I could pick my son up from school like early a couple days last week, and I have to sign him out, and it looks like I'm a 5-year-old signing a 5-year-old out. Yeah, it sucks.
Are we
left-handed,
sure that
bro.
that's a parent? Yeah, that's a fucking, that'd be a trip, man. Well, I hope, I wish you the best, man. I hope that you hope you heal well and you're ready to rip here soon, man. I'm sure you're ready to get back out on the road, right? Get fucking ready to rip. Yeah.
Dude, we're very, very, very excited about everything going on, and very thankful and grateful. 3 of us are very much looking forward to going out. Gas prices are gonna kill us, but maybe not.
Yeah.
But either
Well,
way,
if
it'll
you're
be worth
watching
it.
this, folks, just do me a favor. Go out and support. Hit the tip jar. Make sure you buy all the merch that they got. Purchase the new album, man. Get it signed. Fucking let them give you a sloppy kiss on the cheek. Whatever you gotta do. You know, make sure you get out to the shows, man. Make sure you're paying attention. You guys got Instagram, Facebook. Is there any other socials that you're posting on? I know Trish does a lot of that stuff too, right? Trish does a
Yeah,
lot
we
of
got
that.
the Bandcamp and the Instagram, and it's got the Bandcamp link and the link tree thing, whatever the link tree is,
Yep.
and the Facebook. But the basic stuff.
Yeah. Shout out to your wife too, man. That's fantastic that she's pushing you guys
Yeah,
along.
she's doing
That's
it all. I'm not
fantastic, man.
savvy with any of this.
Right.
I can get on and I look and I know how to share things.
Right.
I'll share flyers or whatever's coming up.
When she
but-
goes on it, dude, I see it all the time, and I love it. That's great,
cool.
man. That's really cool. I think you said it earlier too, man. You know, the women in this scene. I don't think there's enough of them out there. I think there should be a lot more. I think there's, they know what's good as far as safety and being, having a cool spot for everybody to chill. It's not going to be as rowdy.
Yeah, and I gotta say, since Sunday's Mother's Day, that's the thing. It's like every successful musician out there. It's just like every good man out there. At home, he's got a good woman, and he's got the support, and she's probably making it all happen. Just respect the ladies in the scene, and I really would like to see more ladies, choosing to get into the industry and doing things like being more lady promoters and, managers and things like that. It's really cool, but it's very important we respect one another and always respect the ladies and look out for children, look out for kids.
Oh yeah, man. I agree with you on that one.
Yeah, and I'm thankful for
Happy Mother's Day to
for
everybody.
My girlfriend being supportive of
Hell yeah.
of me being in bands and stuff too, because when you don't have that support, it makes it like get miserable, you know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah, man. You don't know that's the toughest thing, man. When you're out away from home, if you don't have somebody that you can trust running the ship at home, or at least being in touch with you and keeping you grounded, you know what I mean? Like that's really super important. And when you're creative people like us, we've got to do this shit. You know what I mean? It's a necessity for guys like us to get out and do things like this. If not, we're going crazy. And they see it, they understand it. You know what I mean? Like you can't tell me if you're not having practice or you're not getting that extra energy out, man, you better be having lots of sex. You know what I'm saying? Because it's the only way you're going to get it out, man. Seriously, it's just if you don't have a good partner that's able to, if you're on the phone and they're able to go, yes, I'm good here, everything's good at home, and you're like, all right, cool, I can go have a good show, I can go keep my mind focused on the fucking task at hand.
That's like the most important thing, and it's like the hardest thing, for any lady out there. It takes a really special lady to be in a relationship with a working musician, no matter what he is in the industry, a manager, radio person like yourself, or the actual musician, the person that's out traveling, Roy's out traveling. A lot to be said about the women that stand by and support all that and put up with our shit. I don't know how my wife puts up with my shit. Like, for real.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to do it. I wouldn't do it.
Yeah. I love when I catch myself when my wife just like she gives you that really like she's with you all the time. She knows when you are gone way too fucking far, and they look at you and go really, and you go fuck, maybe I did go a little far. You know what I mean? And you're just walking away like mad, like fuck. All right, I did go a little too far. Hey, you need that shit. You can't tell me though.
Yeah.
It's the other way around too, man. I've told my wife, if I can't tell you how I'm feeling about the situation in our relationship, who else is going to be able to tell you? We're the closest people to each other. We got kids together.
Yep.
We breathe and fucking smell each other every single day. You know what I mean? I'm surprised I'm not smothered. That's what I'm saying. I'm a lucky motherfucker, dude. She listening to my Darth Vader mask every night. You know what I mean? I'm sure she wants to put that fucking rope around. Fucking, feed me some weird poison of some sort, though. Tell me about Hell on Earth. This is our last tune of the evening. Let me see. Tell me about Hell on Earth.
I'm sorry.
Tell me about Hell on Earth.
Oh, Hell on Earth. That's basically just I wrote the lyrics to that song really quick. That song's my quick take on what was going on over in Russia and Ukraine and when Iran started. Just my take on the war going on right now. That's all it's about.
Yeah. Crazy chaos, dude. I can't believe it, man. You know what I mean? Like, it's a power struggle.
Too many innocent people dying. It's terrible. It's horrible.
Wasteful of resources and human.
For what?
Like nothing good is coming from any of this.
No.
Nothing good comes from war. Nothing.
Not at all, dude. You know what I mean? I don't understand why people have to flex. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, you've got weapons of mass destruction. So do we. Now what? You know what I mean? Now what? We're going to give each other ultimatums. You know what I'm saying? Get out of there in 24 hours or else. It's like, or else what?
It's terrible.
It's horrible. It's absolutely horrible. You got so many people getting involved in the whole mix. It's a terrible, terrible situation, man. I hate to even think about it. It is such a terrible situation, and can go even worse. Every day, dude. A quarter tank of gas cost me like $35. I couldn't believe it. A quarter tank of gas. I live 12 minutes from my job. 12 minutes, and I'm bitching about $35 worth of gas. That's ridiculous. Yeah. I used to drive an hour to work every day for 10 years. If I was doing that now, I'd be fucking poor. There's no way I'd be able to afford my car, my insurance, anything, dude. It's ridiculous. I feel so sorry for these folks that live way up north and they work into the cities and shit. Oh.
A lot of the carpenters that live here in the city, the suburb, and all the driving that they're doing.
Yeah, I do a lot of driving as a carpenter. Like, driving out to all the suburbs.
Expensive.
So bad, dude. And you gotta have a fucking vehicle to carry your materials too. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't just drive a little, Chevette and some shit. You know what I mean? You can't. What are you gonna fucking, strap wood to the top of your, fuck. That's crazy, dude. It's craziness.
Just going out where the work is, like in Southern California. I know a lot of guys out there that are union carpenters, and you live, you get paid really well, but you live where it's affordable, and you're driving a couple hours both ways because you go where the work is. Because there's so much work going on out there, and I'm just like, gas is like almost $8 a gallon.
It's got to be ridiculous out there right now. Got to be close to 10, right? $8, $9.
It's like $8.
Double what it is here.
I think so.
That's insane, man. New York's got to be crazy too, right?
I want to Google it. Like, I'm curious. New York's just expensive anyway, just to live there.
Right.
I've been there on tour. I have friends that, I remember staying at some punk's house last time I was there on tour, and we played in Brooklyn, and there was like 6 or 8 people living in a 3-bedroom apartment, and their rent was like $5,500 a month. This was like, this was like 15 years ago. I can't imagine what it would be now, but it's like, wow. Yeah.
Mid-grade is $506 right now is what they're saying. Premium is $546 in New York.
Yeah, sounds about right. It's a little bit above what we're paying.
Yeah, but double in California, though. That's pretty crazy, dude. Wow.
Yeah, the tour's going to be expensive. Unfortunately, none of this is going to change because it all comes down to greed, and this is all about oil and being in charge of the resources.
It's $620 in Cali right now.
Yeah.
$640 for mid-grade. Premium is $648. Diesel $748. Well, I mean, it's not horrible yet, but damn, that's
a lot.
Pretty fucking expensive, dude. Jesus.
So I figure by the
Goodness.
time we get out there in July for tour, it's probably gonna be close to $8.
Yeah, I bet it's probably gonna go up more from now.
Sketchy, dude. Well, I hope they get it figured out, man. I really, really
But
do.
with the supply chain disrupted as it is, it's gonna take them months to get it for the price to come back down.
Right. That's stupid. And that fucking orange bastard's like, yeah, we got enough. We got more than enough. We got way too much. We don't even want to tell you how much we have. We got so much fucking oil. It's coming out of our fucking, look at my skin. It's oily. It's got so much fucking oil. Dumb fuck. I hate that dude. All right. Hell on earth. We living in it right now. Thank you guys so much for showing up and doing this, man. Appreciate it very much. When you guys have more stuff, you got anything coming through town, I'm sure if I see it, I'll share it, man. So I appreciate you guys coming in. It's been good to catch up with you.
All right,
Thank you very much for having us.
Fuck yeah, dude.
A lot of fun.
Like I said, man, when you guys get this thing ripping and rolling, man, let me know, and we'll push it as much as I can.
Thank you.
Hell yeah, man.
Awesome.
Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. I appreciate you. If you're watching later, thanks again for watching. If you made it all the way this far, do me a favor, like and subscribe to the show. I appreciate it so much. We're slowly pushing our way to that 1,000. I think we're like 640 something right now, but very cool, man. I think everybody who's subscribed just recently, there's been just a slew of people who have subscribed, and I appreciate you very much. Thank you very much. Y'all have a good weekend. I got a lot of cool podcasts coming up too. I got Minnesota Homebrew, Dylan from Minnesota Homebrew next week, and then I think I'm off for Memorial, and then I got a bunch all the way into August. So hopefully you'll tune in. Thank you very much for tuning in tonight. Let's listen to some Hell on Earth from Infuriate, Scourge of Humanity, World Funeral. Check it out. It's going to be on Bandcamp soon, so check it out. Peace out.
Ritual Madness Podcast. Ritual Madness Podcast. Ritual Madness Podcast. Ritual Madness Podcast.